弓と矢、的と自分、そこにはそれ以外何もない。
Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our channel, Paws On Animation.
This time we're covering the second season of the anime Tsurune, titled The Linking Shot.
Yes, there's no more fitting podcast subject for the beginning of January.
Yes.
So the second season sees the team train even harder and their bond of friendship growing stronger as they prepare to enter a national tournament.
Yes. And before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, click notifications for this on future podcasts and we'll pause videos.
Absolutely. In case you're not familiar with Tsurune, it's a Japanese light novel series written by Kodako Ayano with illustrations by Chinatsu Morimoto. And it actually won a special judge award in the Kyoto Animation competition in 2016. It is an anime that's about sports, archery, or in Japanese called Kyoto.
Mm-hmm.
And the students are part of the Kazamai High School Kyoto Club.
Mm-hmm.
And their coach is the Masaki Takegawa.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the second season picks up where the first season left off, and it's done beautifully.
Yes. And one thing you'll notice off the bat when you watch it, if you haven't already seen the trailer for season 2, is that the animation has been upgraded quite a bit, because it looked very simple. It didn't look bad the first season, but it was very simple, very clean. It looked like watercolor for a little bit, and it did its job and told it well. Second one's been upgraded, and now there's a lot of color to it. They're glossed up, they're more defined, they've got a big upgrade in their animation. That's probably my favorite thing of the season, that everything looks great to look at, from the characters to the backgrounds to the intro. They put a lot of vibrant colors in here.
It's absolutely beautiful to look at. It's one of the most beautiful anime to come out this year.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously. And even the posters, when you see the posters, not only for season 2 but also for the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there's a movie, we'll be covering that. Absolutely gorgeous visuals. And that is one of the biggest standouts about season 2.
Yes.
Now, Minato Narumiya is still the MC, the main character, so we're seeing his story through his eyes. So Kyoto's animation returned, and the creative team from Kyoto returned as well. And the voice actors who voiced the characters originally in the Japanese have returned.
Mm-hmm.
There should be a dub coming out soon. We
Yeah.
watched it in subbed,
Right.
but I'll definitely be rewatching it in dubbed.
Mm-hmm.
The first time we saw it dubbed, and only the OVA in sub.
Right.
And when we heard both sets of voices, they had the caliber of like the MHA voice actors.
Mm-hmm.
They really made sure that the dubbers matched in tone and quality to the Japanese actors. And it's a joy to listen to and watch, whether you're watching it subbed or dubbed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that doesn't happen often in anime. Usually you like it one way or the other better. And rarely do you like both and it's equal quality in the performance. So this is one of those animes where whether you watch it subbed or dubbed, it's a joy to watch and a joy to listen to.
Right. And again, this is only 13 episodes, just like last season. Although there is no OVA, it's just 13 episodes completely. And each one this time follows the last, because it's to focus on the arc of them entering a tournament. Now, it's not like a huge arc thing like with Haikyuu, where the tournament spans several episodes. I think it's maybe 2, 3 at most, and then they're done. And I'm guessing they're going to save a larger championship for either season 3 or its own movie like Haikyuu is doing.
Yes. And for this season, we also got a new group of characters from another high school. If you watched it last year, then you know, well, I should say the first season.
Right.
You know that the competition was with Kirasaki. This year is with Tsujimini High School.
Mm-hmm.
And they meet some people, actually one person that they know from childhood who is going to this rival school. And they are impressed with them so much and their technique and their stance that when they go against them in the preliminaries, they actually lose. And we were just stunned that they fell apart. So one of the most standout parts of this season is when Minato says, I really don't know why we lost. And so Master-san is correct, said, oh, you don't? Well then, for that reason, you can no longer come to practice, put on your clothing, or pick up your bow. And we were like, what? And that was the drama, the first bit of drama.
So why is it so severe?
And then when you got to the next episode, you found out why. But when you first heard it, it was like, this was the drama for this anime. Like,
right.
What? You told him he can't? And you're acting like that? And then I said, you know what? He might be imitating the grandfather and how he trained him. But that was the first big drama, that he wasn't allowed to pick up his bow.
Yeah, and then he was having withdrawal symptoms from not being able to do it.
And when you were listening to him, you're like, how did you not know? How did any of you not know how you lost? You were too busy fanboying over them, going, oh, I love that. Maybe we should change how we shoot. Oh, I wish we linked up like that. Look how fast they are. And they were so busy being absorbed with what they were doing that when it came their time to perform, they fell apart. And that was a really big lesson for them in here. And they grew not only as individuals, they also grew as a team. And that is another of the great things about this season is you see the growth. And even though it's only 14 episodes,
right,
the growth seems believable. It doesn't seem rushed, and the way that it is presented is like beautifully done. You feel like you've been practicing with them and watching them practice all season.
Right.
You feel like you've been with them every day, all year.
Right.
And you've seen it, and you've only watched 14 episodes.
Yeah. And, okay, one thing I had to say when they were fanboying, it was, it makes me think of, it's just that they were going like, that's so cool!
Yes, they did say that!
That's so cool! But you focus, that's so cool!
And they kept saying it, and, yeah, it affected them. But the good news is they learned from the experience. And they have an extra episode that shows them performing in a festival or a celebration. And we won't spoil that for you. It's beautiful. It's even more beautiful to look at. And it's one episode that I wish had been lengthened out. It had been more than just the length of a regular episode.
Yeah.
I wish it had been like
Demon Slayer does.
45 minutes or an hour. I would have liked to have seen everything that took place up until the time they performed.
Yeah.
But it's just a beautiful season 2. Sometimes you're disappointed when animes come back, especially ones that aren't huge, like MHA and JJK and so forth. This is a little lesser known anime. And you didn't know what to expect. I just knew I wanted to see it. And Russell said, okay.
Yep.
But I am so happy and so pleased. There is nothing they could have done better except 2 things. Made the season longer, or made the final episode longer.
Right.
That's all they could have done better. This was a perfect season.
Right.
And so that you know why, there was a lot of quality. The creatives that returned were Takeo Yamamura, who did the directing for Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. The writer, Michiko Yokoto, You're Under Arrest, character designer, Miku Kadowaki, Free Drive to the Future, and the prop designer, Hiroshi Kurata from A Silent Voice. So they had some really heavy hitters return and continue to put quality into this anime. And if you haven't seen it, you're really missing out.
And what they also have in here is they kind of sort of build up a slight rivalry with the neighboring team they're going up against in the tournament, and they really have nothing, well, except for one character who's got issues, the leader of them. They really were just there to have fun. After they got the mix-up cell, they kind of had fun together doing the training and training side by side for the tournament, and most of them got along pretty well. And they tried to have more focus on other characters that weren't the main ones, like Minato, and they even tried to give some to the girls, and I think that was like the only weak part of the season, because they tried too hard to make you be invested in them as much as the boys, and they've only had somewhat screen time. and it was almost like, and they even said it straight out in the anime, we can do this too.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need this. And I mean, like, it's okay they want to show the girls, like they were trying to convince the audience the girls were just as important as the boys. Well, just show them. Don't tell me.
Exactly. And they made them from about the 4th episode on, they were almost a part of every episode.
Yeah.
Well, I would have preferred, if you were going to do that, is giving them their own spinoff. And then let us see
like
the
a
girls.
mini one.
Right.
Yeah.
And let us see the girls develop and have their own feature.
Yeah.
I think that would have been much better. But again, it's perfect. Even with them focusing on them a little bit.
Yeah.
And we've seen them perform in a competition. And they win.
Right.
It still was perfect. That's the only thing they could have done better, is made the season longer. As I mentioned, made that final episode longer as well.
Yeah, I would actually like that better too.
So the last thing that I want to point out is that in the dub, we heard Joe Daniels, who also voiced your boy Coming, and hopefully he'll be returning for this. But I want to point out that some of the voice actors, the Japanese that are returning, are people that are really favorites from other anime, including Yuto Umura, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, forgive me, Bungo Stray Dogs, as well as Hide Minato, as well as Kensho Ono from Bofuri, I Don't Want to Get Hurt, so I'll max out my defense.
That's a long one.
Shogo Yano from The Seven Deadly Sins, Cursed by Light, and Kaito Ishikawa from My Hero Academia.
Yes.
So, again, they really took the time to make sure the dub and the sub voice actors are excellent. So I can't wait to hear it dubbed in English, but it has been a joy to watch subbed in Japanese. They did a fantastic job, and there's nothing that could have been better except for the season being longer. So if you haven't watched Tsurune, do yourself a favor. Go on to YouTube and watch the trailer. Look at the beautifulness of it. The vibe is really laid back, relaxed. It's not like a slice of life that's boring. It's really exciting. It's really great. It's in the same vein as Haikyuu, but not as high energy.
Right.
But really,
Yeah, and all
but really engaging, and you get invested in the story and the characters, Masaki. Okay, so if you haven't seen it, it's available on the Anime Network right now to watch, and you can also pre-order season 1 on Amazon, and it's going to be out soon. And also you can pre-order the movie as well, which you haven't seen, but we'll be watching next week and covering for you as well. Again, give it a watch. Watch season 1 first. It's available on Crunchyroll in full, subbed, and it's available on the Anime Network dubbed, but the OVA is missing, so you'll have to go to Crunchyroll to watch the last one.
Right. And it's definitely something you would want to watch. Even this is, like you said, not a really chill slice of life, but just like still an exciting slice of life, if that's a real category for it.
Yes, definitely.
And if you haven't already, subscribe for updates, some good videos, favorite anime series, anime shows, and all things animation.
Absolutely. And thanks so much for joining us today and letting us share with you our love of this new sports anime. Didn't expect to be liking so many sports anime that we end up watching, but so far every single one we watch has been excellent. They have a gift for making you invest in the characters and the storyline and making every sport seem exciting.
Right.
Every single one. And I want to do archery, and I want to play Go. I already play volleyball, and I want to play basketball, which I did a little. And you want to end up doing all of these because they really make them interesting and a joy to watch and fun with engaging characters and storyline.
Yes.
So check it out. Come back and let us know what you think.
Yes. And thank you so much for watching. I'm Ask Entertainment.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a fantastic day.
Peace.